Hi, I'm Dan. Thanks for checking in on Dimgaard this week. So last week we finished up a campaign that ran many months, 9 months, and so we're about to start a new campaign. And so that brings up a point that every now and then I'll see it referenced, but really it needs to be hit upon pretty hard, and I'm not seeing that in any of the other like very popular, very well done D&D channels that I hear, and that is, uh, so you're starting a new campaign, you have new players coming in, and the question so many times is asked, well, what does the party need, right? And it's just a bad question for fifth edition. Uh, what any D&D game, any party in fifth edition needs is they need a player who has a character that they are interested in, that they want to build a heroic story around. That's what the party needs. There's no particular class optimization in fifth edition. There's no ideal party makeup. Now, I know where this comes from, right? So at 3.5, you kind of always wanted to have certain elements in your party. You needed a skill monkey. You needed a a healer. You needed a damage dealer or two. You needed an arcane caster, particularly when you get into the upper levels. So you kind of needed these certain roles filled. And then when World of Warcraft came out, it really changed the entire nature of fantasy war playing in general. It was such a popular and influential MMO, and it really enforced a particular party structure, and then that's affected a bunch of other popular MMOs since then. And that was, you needed a tank, right? And a tank was someone who could take heavy hits, heavy direct hits, and hold aggro from the target of the party, the monster that they were fighting. You needed a healer who was capable of keeping that tank up, who could out heal the damage that tank was getting. And then you needed three DPS, 3 damage per second, 3 damage dealers who could lay the whacks on the creature that you were trying to take down. And so that was really heavily enforced in World of Warcraft. I mean, you had certain encounters where you had to vary that optimization. You might have to bring in a secondary healer because there was so much area of effect damage, so you had to party heal. And there's things like that. So you might need a second tank if there was a second ad. So you needed an off tank to hold the second aggro. Anyway, so that was so influential that it even affected fourth edition of D&D, where you ended up with a very similar ideal party makeup. Fifth edition just completely eschews that, right? Just completely eschews it. First of all, there is no aggro, right? Like in fifth edition, a DM is presenting an encounter. The monsters are intelligent and reactive, and they're not going to let someone just sit there and completely draw their attention, no matter how much rage they have or how much whatever the mechanism you're using to generate aggro in your MMO. That just doesn't exist in fifth edition, right? In fifth edition, the monsters are supposed to be smart, and you're like, okay, I got this guy who's not doing a lot of damage and is really hard to hit. Fine, I'm going to force him to use his reaction, and I'm going to move by him and get to the other player, right, to the other opponent. That's just what happens. There is no aggro in fifth edition. Secondly, you can't out heal the damage dealt in combat in fifth edition, right? So fifth level life cleric is dealing with his healing word that he's going to be using to deal damage or to deal healing at range. He's dealing a D4 plus 4, 18 wisdom, maybe plus 5, a D4 plus 5, and then plus 5 for his level. So he's dealing a D4 plus 10. So, at most 14 points of healing. And when you're facing a CR3 creature or at fifth level, right? And you got one of those per PC at 5th level. There's just no way that level of healing is going to outpace the damage, and it scales all the way up. In combat, can't out heal the damage that you're taking. Just can't do it. The only healing that should occur in combat is to bring up someone who is unconscious to get them from dying and get them back in the fight, because you're fully effective in combat effective in 5th edition with 1 hit point. So you're unconscious, you got 1 hit point, boom, you are a fully effective character now. Or maybe if someone is really low and you think that you can give them enough hit points so that they won't be put unconscious, right? To prevent that situation, then you might do some healing there. Or if you have the ability to heal as a bonus action or as a passive effect, and so you are not dropping into your action economy. Almost always in 5th edition, whoever you have who's supposed to be healing, including the life cleric, you almost always are much better off with them dealing damage to your opponent, right? You're much better off with that life cleric, that 5th level life cleric, casting spiritual weapon and then toll the dead each round, right? Tacking, toll the dead, tacking, toll the dead, or yeah, every round. And instead of trying to pink out a little bit of damage and try and out heal the damage, just can't do it in 5th edition. So the entire structure, the tank and healer just completely breaks down. Right? Second, and then also, so as I said, the most important healing you're doing in 5th edition is bringing someone from 0 hit points to 1 hit point. Right? Everybody can do that, right? Everybody can do that, right? The potion of healing is a common magic item. Every PC should go into combat with 2 or 3 of them on them, so that if they go unconscious, then anybody there, including a familiar, right, can administer a potion to them and get them from 0 to positive hit points, right? And if you're like, well, no, we don't want to use that many potions. We don't have access to that many potions. Okay, fine. Someone take the healer feat, right? The healer feat, you are limited by on your capacity to bring someone from 0 to 1 hit point only by the number of charges you have on your healer kit, right? So if you carry 5 healers kit, you can do that 50 times in combat, right? So there's just no the question, what class do we need in our party, is just you are communicating that you just don't understand 5th edition when you ask that question, right? 5th edition just does not need you to bring in a particular class into a party, right? What 5th edition needs you to bring in is you need to have a character that you understand very well, so that you're not slowing play down, that is very interesting to you, right? And that you can convey to the rest of the players so that it is interesting to them as well. That is what 5th edition needs, right? All right, so there's my little rant as I'm scouring through the player applications for my new campaign, and over again I see, what does the party need? What class does the party need? I just get so frustrated with that question. So maybe you have a different opinion on that. Maybe you think, oh no, we definitely in 5th edition need this particular party structure. Then I'm interested to hear that argument. So drop a comment there for me. That would be great. Or maybe even make a response video, post it to your own YouTube channel, or catch me on social media. I'm pretty easy to find. Jump in there and we can talk about it there. If you found this video interesting, or you think that it would help if other people in your game saw this as well, then you can share it. You can like and subscribe it. That helps it get seen by other people as well. So that's this week. I'll be starting a new campaign this Monday. So I expect to have new topics as we endeavor on our new campaign inspired by the release of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. So thanks again for tuning in.